Springtime in Shahola is green. Very, very green. It's so green that sometimes when I look out my window, I feel like it glows. A lot of the green is the controversial bracken fern, Pteridium, I think probably aquilinum, but I'm not sure. But today I'm here to talk to you about spruce tips. Spruce tips have a really short season. You can see that the tips on this tree, while still light colored and feathery, are really past their prime for cooking. But just 3 feet to the right is a second tree whose tips are at the perfect stage for harvesting. Can I explain why they matured so much later? No, I cannot. A microclimate, the luck of the draw. Either way, I'm not complaining because it stretches out the season when I can pick spruce tips. I've made spruce tip infused vodka. I've made spruce tip salt and sprinkled it on root vegetables, delicious. But today I'm making spruce tip sugar, and we're going to use this to make a batch of really unique shortbread cookies. Start out by combining a 1/4 cup of sugar with a 1/2 cup of spruce tips and chop them up very fine in that food processor. You're going to combine that sugar and the spruce tips really well, and then you're going to add a cup of flour and again process that thoroughly. Next, you're going to add a stick of butter, which you have cut up into 1-inch cubes, and you're going to pulse it this time. You're really barely going to process it at all. The key to making a delicious shortbread cookie is not to overwork the dough. So just pulse it a couple of times. You'll open it up. It won't even look like it's dough, but the key is when you pick a little bit up in your hand and you squeeze it together, it will stick together in a clump. That's how you know your dough is ready, and please don't go any further. You do not want to overprocess this. Did you notice there's a lot of butter in this dough in proportion to the other ingredients? Basically, we've got butter, flour, sugar, and then of course the spruce tips. Well, shortbread refers to the fact that there is a lot of butter in the batter. But while that makes it supremely delicious to eat, it also makes it a little difficult to work with because you'll notice there's nothing to actually bind the dough together here. We have no eggs, we have no milk. So that makes it a little bit difficult to roll out and cut into shapes that are going to hold together. Some people like to use a rolling pin. I prefer to flatten the dough with my hands so that I can really minimize the handling. And then I cut the shapes out. I like them in rounds, either with a small glass or with a cookie cutter. Bake the cookies in a preheated 300-degree Fahrenheit oven for 20 to 25 minutes until they just start to turn golden brown. And then let them cool before tasting them if you can bear to wait that long. The taste is tangy, almost citrusy. It's not a strong spruce flavor. My guess is that cooking modifies that slightly, but it's delicious and it really nicely balances the richness of the sugar and butter combination. I think you're going to like these. So don't miss your window of opportunity between the time when the spruce tips emerge from their brown papery coverings and the time they expand to a couple of inches long but are still bendable and tender. That's when you want to harvest your spruce tips, and that's when you want to make your spruce tip shortbread cookies.